Jimmy, the quest for a fourth successive Southampton Cup ends tonight after a penalty defeat against Stoneham. What are your thoughts on the game?
Well, the quest for good young players coming up underneath our first team hasn't stopped there. I thought the kids were fantastic. I was worried when it went into penalties because 4 of them got to go to school in the morning. I was worried about them getting off and getting home, getting up for their GCSEs, mocks or something. Listen. Sometimes results are irrelevant, and I thought just the growth of the young lads just in a single game was massive from first half to second half when they realised there wasn't a lot to be frightened of. There wasn't a lot, in between it, and they just had to go and be a bit braver and take the game to people and run and be enthusiastic and not sort of like rabbits in the headlights, but that's part of learning, that's part of development, and I'm absolutely delighted for them. I think it was 3 16-year-olds, 2 17-year-olds, a couple of 18-year-olds, 4 or 5 19-year-olds. There was only Rendell over 21 in the starting 11. I know he brings the average age up significantly, but that's what a development squad is for. That's why we decided to do it. And I thought that the fans got to see that, what's going on behind the scenes to try to maintain success at this football club for the long term. And in the likes of Remus Nixon and Connor Bent and Logan Laird. And I tell you what, we've got some real, I know I've left a few out, but I'd have to name them all because on the night they all grew, they all learnt, they all developed, they all realised a few things against a senior Wessex League side who are, should get promotion. I'm absolutely delighted with tonight because it was just a fantastic exercise for the club and for the future and to see what we've got. I couldn't be happier. And I hate losing, but when the development and the huge forward step this club has taken in never having a development squad, never having a 23s, not even close to now putting a game on like that against the side that are expected to be very, very, very strong in the Wessex League. I think the favourites to win it at the beginning of the season, and so I've got to be honest, second half we created far more chances than them. What an incredible save from Remus Nixon, 2 actually, 1 right on the goal line from his header, 1 from his volley. And I just think we put them under constant pressure. Another great save from a corner, Rendell's flicked in the box. I think there's 2 absolutely stonewall handballs, but I don't think the linesman could see that far. It was a bit far away from him, 15 yards. So I'm delighted. I really am. Having all the first team lads here today, in at half time, they picked a player, they sat with that player, helped that player through a few little bits that they were working on. Honestly, it was brilliant, and I am absolutely delighted with everything about tonight, if I'm being really, really honest.
Yeah, it did feel like it was the proverbial game of 2 halves where after the break we looked like a side renewed, and obviously having that little bit of feedback from yourself, from the coaching staff, from the senior players, they did kick on, and in turn, as they got into it, the crowd got a bit more into it as well, and you could see them both feed off each other.
Yeah, the most important thing for players, developing players, young players trying to get better, is to be good learners and good listeners, and then be brave enough to go and try to do the things that they've been advised or spoke to or told to do. And that was very, very evident second half, that they could take information on board and then go and put it into practice and be brave and on the front foot. And yeah, absolutely delighted. Yeah, pleased, really pleased.
It's, again, as you mentioned, the result not obviously what we were looking for at the start, but given the performance and given the character that the lads showed throughout the game, certainly it seems like there's a few there who, as the season goes on, will look to try and certainly state their case to get more minutes in the first team.
Yeah, and they keep playing like that, they will. Like you say, the result was completely irrelevant. It was all about performances tonight and development and progress. One, for the football club to be able to put a development squad out like that and compete against probably the strongest side in the competition was just fantastic. Something we could have never done in the nearly 3 years I've been here. We would have never been able to do that. I'd have had to risk all my first team players tonight, which could have been a catastrophe. And we have been able to put a game on, put a performance on, put a show on, and for our fans to see that there's a new generation, there's something coming beneath. We're not just sort of fixated on one thing. We've got a plan for the football club to take it on and to continue being successful, and that's why I'm here. So honestly, result is absolutely irrelevant. The progress of the football club is the most important thing for me.
Looking ahead to the near future then, a very different test, Friday night game for the first time in a while up at Gosport. How are you feeling about that one? Yeah,
listen, it will be a tough game. You know, they've been sort of Jekyll and Hyde a little bit, to be fair. Some league form and results, head scratchers, and then incredible cup performances. And I'm sure they'll get up for Friday night against us like a cup game, and it'll be extremely hard, like it always is. And we've got to be strong enough to cope with it and play our football and go toe to toe with a really, really good side.
Lovely. Thank you, Jimmy. See you Friday.
Thank you.